Everybody, so you're here with Dan at Home Gardens. So, National Gardening Week 2019. Now, the channels Liz Zorab by the Farm and Erica's Little Welsh Garden are running like a little collaboration with YouTube gardeners, and I was fortunate enough to have been asked to do that. So I thought, yeah, sounds like a really cool thing to do. Now, there's going to be a playlist on this on Liz's channel, and I presume on Erica's Little Welsh Garden channel as well. The playlist will be on there, so you can look at, you know, other YouTube gardeners and what we're doing for this, National Gardening Week 2019. So, absolutely plantastic and beautiful. So there we go. Now, so you're here with me. So, what is my channel about, and why do I grow my own food? Well, I grow my own food predominantly because I like to eat it. Okay, let's be blunt about it, but there's a lot more to it than that. Yeah, it really is, and it'll take a long time for me to explain a lot of this, but ultimately, what is my channel about? It's about getting people growing, okay? And my channel, it caters very much for those of you out there who don't have a lot of time, don't have a lot of funds, don't have masses of land, and I think that, you know, probably is more people than it's not in this day and age. So there we go. So I'm passionate about gardening. I grow lots of different things. I grow your bog standard things like potatoes, runner beans, marrows, tomatoes, you get it. And I also grow other things, okay, other things as well. So my regular viewers know how passionate I am about growing peaches. Now, this tree this year, it's not holding a massive crop like it has the last 2 or 3 years, but you know, I expect that because it really did work hard the last few years. And you know, like those of you out there who do and have worked hard, everyone needs a rest, don't they? So let me show you what I am carrying, or indeed what the tree is carrying. Look at that, look, little peach up there, look, and a few up there. So yeah, I'm very much into peach growing. Okay, I'm going into blood oranges. I've got blood orange here, and it looks like we've got some blossom on the way. There you go, you see that? I'm very much into growing grapes. This is Californian variety Autumn Royal down here in the polytunnel. Here I've got a Sharon fruit, otherwise known as persimmon, and I've got a pomegranate. Now, with this sort of carrying on the same sort of thread, if you will, of getting people growing, I've actually got a little grow bag project on the go, and I will show you what I've got down here. Now, I purchased these grow bags from Pound Stretcher for £1.43 each. I've got, no, £1.49 each, that's it. I've got 6 in here, and I've got 4 more outside. Now, I'm not massively into, you know, grow bag growing, if you will. Because I like very much to, you know, produce my own compost, and at previous addresses I have done that, and I'm not, you know, I'm currently working on that here. But I thought, well, grow bags, you know, if people don't know necessarily much about gardening and they just want to get into it, you know, a trip down your local Pound Stretcher for £1.49 a grow bag, I thought that's a very good way of getting people just into growing and getting them sort of, you know, thinking about things, and that was, you know, a lot of the motivation for the grow bags. Of course, I've not got much in them yet due to the time of year, but what I'm going to be putting in them is some of these. These are all different varieties of tomatoes, okay? We'll start off with these ones. I've grown these all from seed. These are bog standard. I call them bog standard because the majority of UK gardeners know about the variety Moneymaker. But here, I've got some Romanian varieties, all different sort of shapes and sizes ones. And that's something I'm really sort of, you know, interested in, is growing things a little bit different. You know, I've got, I'm very passionate about grape growing, and at previous addresses I've had, you know, vines producing masses of grapes. So yeah, you know, so much to do, so much to talk about. But down here, look, some melons. I've got, these are variety Eden's Gem, which is a traditional variety. Of course, due to the time of the year, the plants are small, but you know, they should only go from strength to strength, all being well. So yes, that's the polytunnel, and you know, I spend a lot of time in this tunnel when I'm gardening. I find it quite relaxing, and I'm just looking up there, I'm working on like an ambient sort of thing as well. So you know, if you look up here, you know, my grapevine growing from the rootstock. This came from Blackmore Nursery, if I remember correctly, and I'm growing it all up here, you know, and I want it to be just a, you know, come back in 5 years, I want this to be, you know, a polytunnel of, just exotic beauty really, because that's it's something that really sort of I'm aiming for. I do a lot of propagation as well, my own grapevines here, cuttings I've taken, and these look like they're doing very well. Bit of the old fruit growing here, some little gooseberries all forming well along here. This cherry minaret, dwarf vertical cordon. So yes, you can have cherries in a small back garden, because indeed I've got a small back garden, and this is a cherry in it. Now these should all be in well. These should be producing some beautiful cherries. The blossom's gone now, it looked gorgeous, but if each one of these becomes a cherry, I'll be very happy. Grapevines, grown these from cuttings, one there, and I'm also very much into grafting of my own trees. So this is an apple tree, I grafted that myself. The old Concord pear, self-fertile variety, small tree once again in a backyard. Pear growing is perfectly possible in a small backyard. Jubilee plum, Worcester pearman apple, and in amongst all the weeds, a Tayberry, which is starting to blossom, so fruit will not be long. So yeah, a little vegetable patch here. These are going to seed. Spinach from last year. I'll try and stand out the shadow. Kale in there. Some squash plants, which aren't looking too amazing at the moment, but there's a long story about them. Check out my channel if you're interested in that. Broad beans, more Tayberries here. Going to be carrying a massive crop. Spinach, which should come into maturity soon, within the next few months, get growing nice crops. And here we've got a tree, an apple tree I grafted myself. I'm very much into container growing, so I grew these grapes. These are cuttings I've once again taken from vines I've owned at previous addresses, and for posterity, and to show the possibilities. I've grown these in a pot there, so you can grow grapes in pots as well. Just because you don't have a massive garden, it does not have to be doesn't mean that you can't grow anything, because with a bit of imagination, bit of sweat if you will, lots of things are indeed possible. Clematis, this one here being, or one of these being, my £5 bargain clematis from Aldi's. Beautiful beauty for £5, should last for many years. Down here, grew these from seed, geraniums. So yeah, that's in a snippet, that's what I do here. There's many more things I do here as well, but that's just giving you a very brief sort of chat really. So yeah, I hope the gardening week goes well for everybody out there. And check out everybody's channel on the playlist. Check out Liz's channel. Check out Erica's little Welsh garden. Very interesting channels. There's so much out there, so much information. And the grow your own movement is incredibly important. I mean, with everything going on in the world now, I'm not going to go into it on this channel because it's not the place. This is a gardening channel. But growing one's own food could be more important than ever due to bloody-blahs. But those of you who remember World War II, either you were in it or growing up during it, whatever, dig for victory. There we go, growing one's own food. And I often think, imagine it if everybody grew just 5% of their own food, the difference that would make on so many levels. Just 5%. If everybody who was capable and able did that, imagine it. Or just one meal a week, they grew all the food in that meal themselves. Just think of the possibilities. For nature, for beauty, for pollution reasons, nutritional reasons. Gardening is so good on so many levels. So nice to meet you all. Take care, and if you like my channel, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to post them below. Nice to meet you. all different varieties of squashes I'm growing. Cucumbers. And snake beans.